Hello, everyone. I see that there are already some cool conversation starters in the comments over here. June Gray, we will talk. We're not going to get into that type of stuff today. I'm going to tell you about a new program that I'm introducing in January. I've already done it with another group of my partners and my students, and it's worked out beautifully. And I want to share it with all of you. But man, June, that's a great question. Why aren't you on my YouTube live calls? Those are the types of things that we go for. And make money taking over field syndications. Gosh, June, you're speaking my language. You're speaking my language. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so let me. I am so happy to have all of you here. Who can we sell at a higher price? Where do the buyers get money now? Well, we're getting the money. I'm actually going to close on a deal in the next 2 weeks. But I'll tell you, it's a different world out there, which makes it an opportunity for buyers, and it's also making it an opportunity for people who are looking to get into this business. Now's the right time, and take it from me. I've been through 4 real estate cycles in my lifetime. I've been on the wrong side of 2 of them, meaning I lost my shirt on 2 of them. And I can tell you, this is exactly what's going on now. But let me get started here by welcoming everybody to tonight's webinar, where we are going to talk about how to achieve your multifamily investing goals in 6 months. And I want to thank all of you for coming out today, taking time out of your busy schedules to join me this evening. You're here because you want to grow in the multifamily business. And I'm here to guide you on that journey. And let me just say in advance, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I appreciate this trust you have in me. And I hope over the next hour or so, you'll find this very informative, very enlightening, and above all else, very encouraging. I will share more about who I am and my journey in the multifamily business in just a moment. But let me first introduce myself. My name is Charles Dobbins. I'm a lawyer. I'm a law firm owner. I'm a multifamily investor, coach, consultant, and mentor to thousands of multifamily investors. And let me share, and I'm not seeing my slides here, so I'm actually. Let me see if I can. Let me see. Yeah, let me just keep going here. But Molly, my trusty assistant, is keeping me honest here. But let me share with you what I plan on covering over the next 60 minutes or so. And during this time, I am going to show you why most people struggle with multifamily investing and how you can overcome any roadblocks you might have. I'm going to show you my step-by-step roadmap to achieve success in just 6 months. I'm going to introduce you to my new 6-month multifamily accelerator cohort program. And you're going to hear me stress the word cohort and how it can help you fast track your results. And this program is so unique. And even though I call it my new program, I can honestly tell you it's taken me years to develop this and perfect it. Coaching, mentoring, and consulting to thousands of multifamily investors of all types over the last 20 years has taught me what it takes to be successful in this business, and why some clients of mine end up owning thousands of multifamily units, and some can never get beyond what I call the LoopNet loop. And for me, that's a real thing, the LoopNet loop of multifamily investing. That's when you come home from some guru's boot camp and jump on LoopNet and create a free account and look at a few properties in some of those emerging markets that was dictated to you by some guru as the next up and coming hotspot. And then you get overwhelmed and you realize you're not ready to take that multifamily world by storm. So you log off LoopNet and you never open that account again. And I just got to ask, if that sounds like you, go ahead and type the comments in the comment section. I want to hear from you. But whatever it is, don't worry about it. My new cohort program will get you beyond that LoopNet loop and get you moving towards owning your first property by yourself or with a team within the next 6 months. And if that sounds good, just let me know in the chat box, because I want to make this as interactive as possible. I want other people to step on up. So, all right, I'm also going to give you some tough love and really tell you like it is about why you're not moving forward towards your goals and why you need to do things differently in the coming year, especially if you're trying to achieve these new results. You remember what Einstein said about the definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, like the LoopNet loop. All right. And then I'm going to show you how you can break out of all the obstacles, break past them, and that have kept you from getting your first deal. I'm going to show you how you will have everything you need to close that deal. And in 6 months, I will be there at the finish line with you, welcoming you to the world of apartment ownership. And I hope that that's what you're here for, because that's what we're going to do. But if anyone wants to skip the line and get more info on my cohort program, if you can't stay here for the whole hour and you want to find out more, here's what you need to do. Send an email to charlesdobbinsvip@gmail.com. I think Molly might be able to type it into the chat box so you can all see it. It's charlesdobbinsvip@gmail.com. And what I want you to do is put in the subject line the word application. And it is an application process. This program is not open to everyone. There is an application and an interview process. And I learned that this was necessary after my hotel conversion cohort program. Listen, you're going to be working with me directly over the next 6 months on a group basis. And we want to make sure that everyone is right for the program and is committed to getting it done. So that's what it's going to be like. My staff will give you a short interview. And if you're a fit, then you're in. And if you have any questions about how the program works, that would be the best time to get them answered. And if it's not the right fit for you now, well, we'll see you the next time we open the doors for the next cohort program. But I'm going to take a pause right now. Everybody chat in the chat box. I want you to type a 1 in the chat box. If you've ever looked at a multifamily deal online and you weren't sure what to do next, type a 1 if that describes you. Let me know. I'm drinking Snapple raspberry tea, 0 sugar. But the problem is, and I hope that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in his new position as Health and Human Services Director protects all of us from things that they put in here. And the first thing he can do is have them make the print a lot bigger, because I can't even read what's in there. I just know it tastes really good. All right. That was it. Now, next question, and type this in there too. If you've done what I just asked, where you were looking at deals online and you didn't know what to do, is part of the problem because you didn't have all your resources lined up to make it happen. Like, do I have the earnest money deposit? Oh, do I have a team to do the due diligence? Oh, do I have boots on the ground in that particular town that guru told me to go look in? Did you not have your resources all lined up? Type a 2 in the box so I can take a look at that. Let me see how we're doing. Yep. Oh, yes, exactly. Yes. All right. Okay. Listen, you're here because you understand multifamily investing is one of the most powerful wealth building vehicles available in anyone's lifetime. It is the only form of real estate that builds income and assets at the same time. And you understand that more millionaires have been created through real estate ownership, and you know that this is the right thing and this is the right time. All right, let me tell you a little bit about myself. And I think you'll find a lot of this very, very encouraging. Let me just update this. Okay, so for those of you that don't know who I am, let me give you a moment to introduce myself. My name, as I said, is Charles Dobbins. Over the last 20 years, I have been involved in all aspects of the multifamily business, from owning over 1,000 apartment units as an investor, to owning the property management company that managed my properties, to representing legal clients in my law firm who needed representation for all aspects of their deals, and to teaching thousands of investors through my training program in the Multifamily Investing Academy and its subsidiary programs, including the Multifamily OS system, for how to become multifamily investors, how to be successful multifamily investors. You will never find anyone with more experience in all aspects of the multifamily business doing what I do today, from representing them as a lawyers, from being an investor, being a partner, and also teaching and consulting to my students. I personally have acquired properties from 20 units all the way up to 345 units and everything in between. And I've acquired properties with no money down. I've acquired properties through lease options. I've done syndications and joint ventures. And I've acquired properties on my own, and I've done several deals with my students. I know there are a lot of guys out there saying that they'll do deals with students. I actually do deals with my students. In other words, there is very little I do not understand or have not seen in this business. And even though everything I've just shared with you sounds great and sounds like a road paved with gold, I'm also here to tell you that whoever said that success is a lousy teacher knew what they were talking about. And the reason why I'm so good at teaching and training new students is because I've made my share of mistakes. And not every deal I have done has turned out to be a moneymaker for me or my investors. That's just a cold, hard reality. Let me tell you something. You heard me say at the beginning that I've been through 4 cycles in my lifetime. Nobody times these cycles correctly. But that has also made me passionate about my students' success. I want to protect you from the errors of some of my ways. And why do I do that? Let me tell you a story. When I was a young buck insurance agent right out of college and before I went to law school, my sales manager had been a very successful agent when he was in the field, but left to become a manager and help young agents like myself become successful. I remember one time asking him, why did he do that? Why wouldn't he have wanted to stay in the field and be his own boss? And his answer shocked me as a 22-year-old dumb kid. Here's what he said: because I really want to see you succeed. I thought that was the craziest thing I had ever heard of. Now, fast forward 40 years, and I totally get where he was coming from. I love seeing my students and clients succeed. And that is what gets me up every morning, and I can't wait to get started at work. So let me set the stage here. I'm just going to fix this. Why am I here tonight talking to each and every one of you? And I have to believe the same is true for you. You are here tonight because you are looking to take the big leap, to make the next move and finally get that first property under your belt. You're also here because you're an action taker who is ready to finally level up your game. And if that's true, stick around until the end, because I have an exclusive bonus for those of you that are ready to make their first move. So here's the truth. And the truth is that without the right guidance and without the right team, these challenges can cost you months or even years of progress. But it doesn't have to be that way. And the truth is, I'm sure that you heard every other multifamily coach say the same thing, but my program is nothing like anything you've seen before. So let me talk to you about how it works and what it entails. Let me show you exactly what I teach. Let me tell you how this program is going to get you to work. And if you don't see the benefit of this concept or of this program, then you must know something more about the multifamily process than I do, because I have never seen this type of training before that I'm going to put you through. Let's walk through a deal start to finish, as from where you are now and how that deal would be different if you were in my program. And if because of the way we work, because of the way this program is set up, each cohort is limited to the number of people we can enroll in the program at any given cycle. We limit the number of people that come in. If we are too big, it's unruly and ineffective, and that's not our goal. My goal is every 6 months, I want to do a deal with one of my students. I'm doing it now. I want to keep doing it. All right, that sounds good. Stick around because we're going to get started. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is a program called Crexy. Now, in part of the training in our cohort, it's going to be a 6-month program. there's going to be 2 training sessions per month taught by me live. All right. Obviously, I've been doing this for 20 years. I have plenty of recorded material. When I am working with my cohorts, I'm going to be teaching twice a month, and it's going to be me, and it's going to be live with you, and it's going to be fresh, no recordings. Sometimes I'm going to have guest speakers come on and work with me, like our syndication attorney, like our mortgage broker. They're going to come on board, and we're going to show you exactly how you work with them. But the whole point is that we're all going to be working together. And one of the first lessons you learn is how and where to find the deals before anybody else does. Now, my students, the last 10 years, I've been watching a video, about an hour and 45 minutes long of video. It's training, online training, an hour and 45 minutes, me showing you all the places to find deals. When you come on board in the co-op program, I'm going to teach you that directly, and it's going to be updated, and it's going to be up to the minute. It's going to be how we find deals now. One of the best tools that we use is a system called Crexy. All right. It's like LoopNet on steroids. It's where we find the best information about the properties. It's where we find properties for sale. It's where we find the owners of properties that we want to buy that aren't even on the market. It's just a great tool. And as you can see here, I just pulled up this one, and we're going to walk through this particular deal so you can see what happens. For the first 5 minutes of this review, you're going to think, well, what's so unique about this? Why is this different? I'll show you it then when we flip the switch and show you what it's like to be in the cohort while looking at this deal. All right, so here I found this particular property. It's in Fort Lauderdale. It's just a 12-unit property. Nothing big. Should be a good first property to own. Remember, my book is How to Own 1,000 Apartments in 5 Years. And the way I teach you is all you need is 20 in the first year. And that's what we do with the co-op program. Every 6 months, we're going to buy another property. So this one here is 12 units. All right. The reason why this popped up on my screen, the reason why I'm using it here is because I received an email from the broker. I had looked at this property a few months ago, probably 6 to 12 months ago, and they were looking for money that was too much. It didn't make any sense. So it popped back up on my screen, and we're going to look at it today. All right. So on Crexy, the beautiful thing is you can just click this button right here. It says View OM. And you click the view of the offering memorandum. They make you sign a confidentiality agreement. And then, an hour or so later, or even maybe the next day, depending upon how their system works, I receive an offering memorandum in the mail. And so, as you can see here, there it is. Beautiful property, 1959, year built. All right, but remember, it's Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale has some beautiful areas. So it might be well kept, well maintained, and this one actually is. All right. Now, the whole idea is this being a numbers game. I want you looking at a lot of properties, and it's not so much the property that we're interested in. It's the relationships that we're going to build with the brokers when we start looking at these properties. That's the most important thing. So here we're looking at this property, Franklin Street. Now, the most important thing is, this is probably a 35-page document. I only care about 2 pages. The first page that we look at is right here, the unit mix summary. Now, the thing that I gather from this information is how many units, what types of the units, what's the square footage, and what is the expected rents. In a perfect world, what would the expected rents be on this property? And in this particular case, the studios are going for $1,200, and the one bed, one bath are going for $1,650. Wow, those are good numbers. Those are good numbers. As a matter of fact, the property that we're buying and buying a hotel, which are a bunch of studios, they already come with kitchenettes, and converting them to multifamily. Our rents are about $1,000 a month, but we got 143 units, so it's going to be a little bit bigger than this one. But this one's an absolute that's a great deal. You'll learn more about that in my program. Okay, so we gather this information. This information is going to tell us what the most this property could actually earn when we own it. Now, the next step I look at is the income and expense summary. This is where most of the fraudulent numbers are going to be found. but we're going to correct it. We're going to figure out in due diligence. And what I really want to see is a trailing 12, but they never show you that on the offering memorandum. So I come here and I grab the expense numbers. And as you can see here, and this is key, and I want you all to note this, and this is what you're going to be learning in those twice a month sessions. I'm going to dig down deep, and we're going to look at your deals. We're going to look at other people's deals, but we're going to go through each one of these numbers, and I'll tell you which numbers are the most important to pull out. The most important number that I'm looking at on this screen is the expense ratio. Look at where it says down there on the total expenses, 38.67%. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Obviously, that expense ratio, the residents are paying their utilities. So 38% is a good, solid expense number. This property should cash flow very nicely once we're done with it. All right, now what I'm going to do here, and I am going to share my screen. Hold on, I got to jump back over here. I tell you, folks, I am going on present, share screen. Yeah. All right, let me just jump on over, make sure that we are seeing everything correctly. Yes. All right, folks, this is okay. Let me just jump back a little bit. Crexi is a great program. It's a subscription program. All of my students get a discount with Crexi. I've negotiated a discount with Crexi. This is the Analyst Pro software. Folks, I have seen them all. Some of them are very good. The difference is this Analyst Pro plays chess while everybody else is playing checkers. This Analyst Pro is like three-dimensional chess. It has so many great things. It looks at the crime statistics of your address and can build it into the final model. It can create a website for your deal that your investors can come in and take a look at. It is the most amazing software, and it's fun to use and it's easy to use. And so what I'm going to do here is walk you through how it works. I'm going to do an analysis report, investment analysis. And as you can see here, I'm going to come down because I've already got it built in there. I've got Fort Lauderdale built in there. Look at the buttons on the left-hand side. This is how we build it out. The first thing we look at is the property. I put in all the information. Then we go to the income. Now, remember what I did. I told you that we go to that first page that has the top line number. And there it is, $1,200 a month, $1,650. It had $1,440 of other income and laundry. And there's all our income. That's all we have to do. Now we come over to the vacancy and expenses. Now, one thing that you may not have picked up on was that the broker in his offering memorandum said vacancy was 0%. That's a lie. All right, never analyze a deal with 0% vacancy. Folks, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't happen. People are going to be late paying their bills. People are going to die. People are going to move out. People are going to skip on the lease for you. There's always going to be some level of vacancy. When a broker says 0%, that's a red flag, and we have to keep our eye on that one. But what I did, as you can see here, I've already built out the numbers so you can easily see what this property is how it's performing, and it's so nice how it's done. This is just such a nice. Let me see if I can just give you an example here. The landscaping was $3,000. I put a 2% per year buffer on the expenses. Works beautifully. Now over here on the mortgage, this is going to be very important because right now, folks, the mortgage it's killing a lot of deals because 3 to 5 years ago money was free, and now this mortgage increase, and that's what June was talking about earlier. It's the maturity defaults that are killing this business, that are some of these investors who are investing the last 3 to 4 years, they're finding themselves upside down, which is making an opportunity for us. Now, what I put in there was a 25% LTV. a 75% LTV loan, 25% down. I just used a 5.5% interest rate. That might be probably in line. I did a 25% amortization. It may only be 20, being a 12 unit in Fort Lauderdale, but I put these in just to be kind of in line with what the market's doing. Now, at the disposition, the guy's selling it as a 6.4 cap. If you don't understand what that means, you will by the end of the first month in the cohort program. And now, what I want to show you is you hit continue, brings you over to the report, and this is where we, as a group, let me just check over here. I want to make sure that everybody's seeing this. Nope, I got to go over and switch. I'm going to stop. Oh, let me see. I got to come over here. I'm going to stop this share. I'm going to start the new share because I've already run the numbers, and I want you to see what the numbers look like. Here we go. All right. So what happens in this particular case? Remember, if you looked at the pictures, you'd see they've done a great job in rehabbing the units. It's a very nice property. They've done a great job. And what we are going to do is we are going to analyze this. And there's the one number that I always want to take a look at. Now, remember, this property's got about a 38% expense ratio. That's pretty good. This property should be cash flowing beautifully. So the first number we look at is the debt service coverage ratio, right down here, 0.94. Now, let me ask people in the chat box. Here's the question in the chat box. Do we have a deal? Do we have a deal with this property? I'll wait. Go ahead and type in what your thoughts. Debt coverage ratio is 0.94. Do we have a deal? No. Thank you, Shecky. No, we do not. Rich, no. It needs to be at least 1.25. Rick, you're going to learn in my program that there's no constant to the debt coverage ratio. The debt coverage ratio is a dynamic number. It changes based upon the quality of the asset. Banks are happy at 1.25 because they're in first position. But depending upon the quality of the asset, you might need a higher debt coverage ratio. In this particular case, it's DOA. So here's my question. Yeah, you don't have enough. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Scott. So here's the thing. What do we do? What do we do? Well, I'll tell you. If you're in the program, and I'm going to start, let Molly know that I'm back to the slides here. If you're in my program, this deal's not dead. We're just getting warmed up. This is when the nice stuff starts to happen. Let me give you a little story before I dig back into this deal. We're about to close in a hotel. This has been the longest close. This purchase and sale contract has experienced a birthday. I won't get into all the reasons why, but let me just tell you, because we were so persistent, because we stayed in the game, this deal started at 7.5 million is what it was on the market for. A year later, we are buying it for 5 million with a $500,000 seller financing. That's because we stayed in the deal. We're out there looking at other properties, but we've been staying in this. And not only that, now the broker and the owner, who is part of a 500 hotel unit group, they know we can perform. They know we do what we say we're going to do. And now we're going to be asking them for the next property on January 2nd. So let's look at this Fort Lauderdale property a little bit differently. How would that property have been acquired within the cohort program? First thing you need to understand is that when you become a member of the program, you instantly get 25 to 30 other partners, friends, investors, confidants. I mean, you name it, call it what you want. But you get the best team working with you throughout the entire process. And don't forget, I'm also part of the deal. Now, when you find that deal, you will work with me and the other partners, and we strategize over your next steps. You don't just get into that net loop and cave. We do this on our weekly group calls so that everyone else can also benefit from the process. Now, if you want to keep this deal confidential because you don't want anyone jumping on it just yet, that's totally fine. You can do that. Or you can let other members know that you're looking to bring on partners to help you through the process. I mean, it's your deal. You are the quarterback. But now you have an entire team of people, like-minded people, to help you get to that closing table and run the property successfully. Maybe you need someone to help you raise money. Maybe you need somebody to be boots on the ground in Fort Lauderdale. And maybe you need someone to be partners with you because you need someone to help you qualify for the mortgage. Maybe you've had credit issues in the past and you're afraid you'll get turned down. Don't let these things stand in the way of you achieving your goals. Okay, do you see how this works? You now have all the resources necessary to accomplish your dream of buying apartments. There's no more excuses. We've got you covered. It's this cohort model. And it's worked on this hotel model. It's worked on this hotel acquisition. I've never tried it on multifamily. I've been teaching multifamily for 20 years. Now I'm taking the cohort model from the hotel to home conversions, and we're now going to use it for multifamily. And folks, it worked. We could not be acquiring this, what ultimately will be a $12 million property, for $5 million if it hadn't been for this team of cohort members that all came together to do this deal. Not all of them are part of this deal, but there are other cohort members looking for other deals, and they will start the process all over again. So let me explain to you about the 6-month program. Let me just do a little thing and how it works and how I came into it. See, I have a business coach. I know that's, 20 years in this business. Yes, I have a business coach, and we meet once a quarter with a group of other business owners who are all looking to learn how to bring their business to the next level. And we all work together with our coach to understand what our businesses need. They call this group that meets quarterly a cohort. And a cohort is defined as a group of people with a shared characteristic. That's it. Now, at the time, I was also working with my partner, David Peters, on our hotel to home conversion business. And for this, I came up with the idea to create a cohort of new investors who are interested in owning apartments through hotel acquisitions. And I'm happy to report, as I keep saying, we're closing on that first deal this month. And after seeing the entire process play itself out, I can guarantee you that this could never have happened if we had not worked in a cohort. And not only is it a great model, but we have made such great friendships. We talk once a week at the minimum, and every person in the cohort has a role and responsibility to, when we own that property, to run. We have a renovation manager, we have a revenue manager, we have an asset manager, we have a property manager. Everyone has their own individual role and responsibility, and we teach them what they need to do to be successful. And that's when I thought to myself, wow, this strategy would benefit so many multifamily investors and help them achieve their ultimate goal of becoming massively successful and build a business that gets them to their first deal. So let me talk to you a little bit about the elements to the program. The next multifamily cohort will start in January. It's limited to 30 new members. We already have some people coming over into it, existing students of mine who have already said they're joining. We've already got a few people lined up. When we hit that number, we shut it down. Nobody else can come in. And the reason why we do that is we have to stick together as a group. We can't be bringing people in at different times. It would not be fair to everyone else. So we're starting this up in mid-January. If you're interested in any way, use that email, charlesdobbinsvip@gmail.com. Put application in the subject line, and we'll get you started in the process. But over the next 6 months, you're going to have all the resources you will need at your fingertips. It's turnkey. It's not like the other gurus and boot camps you've been to where you walk away and you go home and you got the 3-ring binder. This is a team concept. You will make the best friends of your life. It's like, college, 4 years of college. You made some great friendships. Here, in 6 months, you're going to make lifelong relationships that will grow like you can't imagine. And the difference between this and college, in this program, there are no undecided majors. Everybody knows what they want to accomplish. The 6-month cohort accelerator program is designed to take you from stuck, where you've been doing the same thing, you're in that loop, to successful. And here's what's included. And I'm just going to run through some of these points right here. Every month, we're going to take you through 2 lessons. And those alternate weeks, you will have homework. You will be, every month, we do a book of the month club, where we all come together and review a particular book, mostly on business building. You will be part of a WhatsApp group. We all communicate via WhatsApp. Everybody talks about, hey, how's it going? I mean, we did this early on in my career. I'm getting back to it because it was so fantastic. The friendships that we built were absolutely fantastic. And, folks, I've been involved with watching some of these other training programs where you don't get to meet the other people in the program. They don't want you to. They don't want you talking. I want you talking. I am amazed at how many of my students that have left my program but stayed friends have gone on to do amazing things. I have a lot of my students who own over 1,000 apartments now, all getting their start with me. I'm going to take you hook, line, and sinker from day one, middle of January, all the way to 6 months later. And I can guarantee you there are going to be groups within that cohort who will be acquiring their first properties. And why not you? I mean, take a look at this guy, Jason Stubblefield. I found Jason came to my program years ago, and he's become a massively successful multifamily owner. I see him out there teaching now. That's another great thing, is I see so many of my students out there teaching other students. That doesn't, I don't think that that's a negative. I think that's a compliment. What great, I've taught them well. Now let them go out there and teach. I see Jason all the time on TikTok, as a matter of fact. Here's Alec from Seattle. I love working with him and his wife. They actually purchased a 21 unit out in Seattle. They're doing great. And then also, Lisa. I love Lisa. She got herself into trouble, and she had a partner, and the partner screwed her over, and she was going to lose the property to foreclosure. I got in there. We stopped it. We fixed it. We turned it around, and now she's doing incredibly well. I love Lisa. Let me kind of give you an example. Actually, I'm going to jump over this. Let me see, where are we? Let's go over to the right here. This is just to kind of give you an example, and we're going to talk more about exactly what this program entails, but kind of give you an overview. It's a step-by-step program. I'm going to take you through all the different steps over the 6-month period. There's going to be live coaching every 2 weeks. You're going to have direct access to me. You'll have me on WhatsApp. I'll be communicating you with WhatsApp. There'll be other people in the group that you can talk to. I want people engaged in this group. That's how it works with the hotels cohort. That's how it's going to work with the multifamily. The deal analysis tool, we're going to use that Analyzer Pro because it is the best. It is the best. Some people say, well, it doesn't do this. It doesn't do this. Yes, it does. And we'll actually have Mr. Kuhlman, who has developed this program, on to teach you how to use it effectively. And also just the community support. Folks, I mean, one thing I love about this group and what we've done before in the past, I mean, we all came together when one of the members of my group lost his daughter, and several of us showed up at the funeral in New York. It was, that's just the type of friendships you will make in this group. We will cheer you on for your successes, and we will carry you in your lowest days. But the idea is we are all working together to achieve these goals. So let me just see. Here we go. Okay, this is really it. So, and folks, I'm everyone's asking me, let me jump over and see if I can take some of these questions right now. I know people are asking how much is it and what have you. Listen, you'll be surprised at the price. And not only that, we have a one pay price, and we also have weekly. You can pay weekly if you want. I just want as many people as possible to get this opportunity, and that's kind of where we are. Let me just run through here. That's yep, that's right. Molly's got the right there too. Okay. Does your course teach no money down and owner financing? If not, I don't want to waste your time. Doug. My course teaches you how to do this business. And that includes everything. So don't tell me that you'll waste your time, or your time will be wasted if I'm not teaching you money down and owner financing. Let me tell you something. I told you that I purchased property, no money down. It was probably the worst deal I ever did. I did lease options, and early on, I did it wrong. So what I'm here to help you with is to make sure that you've got me, an attorney, looking over your shoulder. I'm not representing you as your attorney, but I'm looking over your shoulder to make sure you're doing everything right. And Doug, if it makes you feel any better, I'll tell you that this deal that I'm doing in for the hotel deal, I'm using seller financing. All right. But I'll also tell you, it didn't start out that way. So if you get into a deal and the seller says no to seller financing, but it's a good deal, don't walk away. Bring the people together in the cohort. Let's figure out a way to make that deal work if it's a good deal. And that's what we did with this hotel conversion. But at the end of the day, by the time we were done, we told the seller, only way we're going to do this is if you kick in some dough. And they did. So you never know when. You just have to know how. And that's the key. And that's what we're going to do. And that's how you're going to be safe. Let's see. Molly, great question. Charles program, absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Molly. Look at Molly's so smart. She's so stinking smart. Thanks, Molly. So many courses say they teach this. Well, but it's really not. Okay, let me just tell you something, Doug. I'm going to teach you everything. I mean, if you come to the deal, like, gosh, I'm trying to think. What was the last time a student, you know what? You know one that they don't teach you, Doug, is assumptions. They say they teach you assumptions, and it's usually just like a paragraph in that creative financing chapter of whatever book it is. They don't teach you the good, the bad, the pitfalls, the things you need to be aware of in the assumption deal. I do. And I want to make sure that you're protected. I have no issue with assumption deals. And I can tell you right now, they're becoming, they're a little fewer and further between, because obviously, deals are starting to mature and there's nothing to assume. And, what you're doing in that case is now you're working with the lender to try to get that deal. We're going to be teaching you how to do that. And we're going to be working with you every step of the way to make it happen. Let's see. He is better than Tyler. I tell you that Tyler Gavo, that kid's a kid. That guy's a kid. Oh my gosh. I was losing my first multifamily property when he was still in high school. Yeah, so that's, he is better than Ronaldo. Okay. I'll take that as a compliment. The problem is finding investors. I'll tell you something, Ray, and I know Ronaldo, but I know that you guys like to go by Ray, but Ronaldo, the problem is finding investors. You know what? You're right. And the biggest compliment I have is that this hotel deal that we're doing, the majority, almost 80% of the funds that were raised came from my students. In other words, students that have been with me over the last 20 years. I pick up the phone, I call them, I got a great deal. They put their money in. Nothing, no greater compliment can I have than that. So, yeah, I mean, it is, I'm not going to lie to you. Right now, some of these investors, and you want to know why? It's because they got themselves into deals 3 to 5 years ago that are not paying distributions right now. And they're sitting on the sidelines waiting. I get it. So, I mean, I'll tell you what that means is when we go to structure the deal, we listen to those investors. And one of the things that in this hotel deal, it's a conversion. This deal is conversion. Do you know how much we're paying on a preferred return on day one? Zero, because it's a conversion. We've got to keep your money in the deal and turn it as fast as we can. And if you need to be in a conversion deal for cash flow, you're in the wrong deal. And so that's how you want to be able to speak to your investors. You want to talk to them that way so that you get the right investors in your deal. So, and maybe, we start off with smaller properties. Remember, 20 units in the first year. In 5 years following my formula, you can own 1,000 apartments, and it's easy. But it's just building and building, starting out with what you can do. Maybe in the first couple of deals, you only work with 2 or 3 other cohort members to close a deal. Maybe you get yourself into a bigger deal and you get 10 people in the cohort. So it really depends upon the structure of the deal. But the thing is, you've got 25 to 30 people that are in your program with you. You're all in this together. And that's the problem. One of the problems with this business is the isolation of the business. Molly, that was a slide that disappeared. The isolation of this business, because, you come home and not many of your friends or family are looking to buy apartments, but you are, and you're the only one. And it gets lonely in this business. This program keeps you focused, lets you work with other people. It's the way it worked beautifully in the hotel conversions. It's going to work great on the multifamily side. I can't wait to get started. Do you do deals in Arkansas? Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? There was some good, there was a student of mine, Brendan Chisholm, out of Connecticut. He went out there and started a meetup group and started teaching other people multifamily. He started with me. Love the guy. Awesome, awesome kid. And somebody brought him a deal in Arkansas, and he told me about it, and it's awesome. It was a great deal. Did I teach him anything about Arkansas? No, I told him how to do deals, and he went out there and found that great. I think it was I want to say a 400 unit. It was if anybody knows Brendan Chisholm, about that deal. I'll have to get the magnifying glasses and find out what I just drank. How much is the enrollment? Ray, you can afford it. I guarantee it. Let me see. Shecky says no. I don't know what Shecky is saying no to. No needs to be at least 1.25. It wasn't a deal. I remember. Right. Okay. Yep. No. Scott McKeag. Hi, Scott. You don't have enough NOI to even make your loan payments work. Yeah. But Scott, this is what we will talk about in the group. Because remember what I showed you? That top line number, those were pretty good rents. That they're showing 0% vacancy. Okay, fine. Let's use your 0% vacancy. 38% expense ratio. Scott knows. Scott's a very smart guy. Scott knows that on a textbook, that looks like a perfect deal. But then when you put in that cost of the money and what have you, it doesn't afford that. The price is too high. Well, the beautiful thing about multifamily, and this is something you're going to learn, is we're going to make an offer on that property. We're going to make an offer on that property that works for us, and we're going to start a relationship with that broker. I just had another student who was looking at a property. It was originally 15, then they wanted 12. My student and I looked at it, 10.5 million was all we can give. The guy doesn't want to talk to anything below 12 million. The broker called us back yesterday. What's your number? 10.5. Make an offer. Because we had made that offer, we were in the game. Now they knew us, and now they're coming back at 10.5 million. It was 15. We're now looking at 10.5. We're going to get a beautiful property at 10.5 million. Let's see. So you offer less. Exactly, Milan. I'm sorry. What is the cost of the program? Doug, you can afford it. You can't afford not to. Charles, I went through bankruptcy and have no money or credit because of a child with an incurable illness. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Doug. If anything, you need my program. Let's get you out of that situation. Let's get you in a situation where you're not dealing with that anymore, where those problems go away. That's the right way to do it. Tyler charges 40 grams for 12 months. It sounds like a drug deal, Ronaldo. 40 grand for 12 months. Oh, I'm nowhere near that. I'm nowhere near that. And I bet, hey, Ronaldo, here's another big difference. When you sign up with him for 40,000, do you have him on WhatsApp? Can you chat with him? Can you speak to him directly like you and I will be doing right now? Well, you will with me. And you know what? I see a couple of my students on it. Shecky's on there. Is there a live class / property tour? No, Shecky. I've already spent time with you in a hotel. Why do I want to keep doing that? 12-month training. Yeah, no, this is 6 months. But the problem is, not problem, but 6 months is a training. If we're doing deals, we're still together. We'll stay together for as long as we need to. And the thing is that, at the end of 6 months, you guys are all still friends. You're all working together. I've taught you how to go out there and do this on your own. You don't need me after 6 months. I mean, I still want to play with you, let me tell you, but you won't need me. But you'll have all the same resources that you do when we get started. And do you see that? With Tyler's $40,000 program, and I don't want to speak. I don't have firsthand knowledge, so I'm just going by what I see here. His program ends, and then you're on your own. My program never ends. You will be friends with these students. You'll do deals with these students. It's happened to all my students in the past. That's the beautiful thing, and that's what I've always wanted my program to be like. I wanted my students to come together and to stay friends. And like Shecky knows he can pick up the phone and call me. Shecky has and then Sheena. Is the group purchasing an apartment together at the end of the 6 months? No, Sheena. Okay, let me explain something. We're not all coming together. We're coming together to do deals, but that doesn't mean all of us are going to buy a property together. Like for instance, in the hotel deal, there are about 8 of us from the 25, 8 of us that have put money in, we put our resources in, and we are focused on doing that deal. Now, there are others, if any other student brought in another deal that looked like it was going to work, we made other offers. So, if you bring in this Fort Lauderdale deal, Fort Lauderdale, it's a 12 unit. You're not going to have 25 owners in that. That's ridiculous. They're going to have a couple of people in that particular deal, but then other people will bring in deals. And other people will join that cohort model. So we all come together as a group and we all go out looking for deals. And there's no guarantee that anything is going to be purchased. I will say that right out flat. If you don't do the work, if you don't take the action, nothing's going to happen. But the thing is, you go out there and find those deals. You now have no excuse. I'm taking you out of that net loop where you make offers and you look at what the brokers are showing you, and you sit there and make an offer. It doesn't work. Oh, I'm done making offers. No, we all work together. We all get on the phone. We all get on WhatsApp. We all get on those weekly calls. We all come into the twice a month the lessons. We all do the homework, and there's no excuse for not having the resources necessary to make this happen. At times I heard a broker can, let me put this on here. So let me just say, Sheena, let me know, do you understand? It's not like, oh yeah, we're all going to come together. No, we may do nothing. I may get a group of 25 people that just sit back and watch, and that would be a waste. That's why we want to go through the interviewing process. I want people who can take action, who can make this work, because I want to do some deals with you. I mean, I'm not only do I have my general partner position on the hotel that we're buying, I also put my money in there too. I'm a cash investor. I'm just saying, thank you, Sheena. At times I heard a broker can kick out the deal. Am I correct? Kick out the deal. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean, Ray, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. I want you to explain that to me. What do you mean by kick out the deal? I'll wait to hear that. But anyway, listen, go ahead. Send that email. I'm going to do another webinar just after Christmas. Probably do a weekend. Once I hit 25, I shut it down. Once I hit 25, I shut it down, and you'll have to get into the next cohort. But I cannot wait to get started on this next deal because the market's changing. It's becoming a buyer's market once again. Kick you out of the deal? No, a broker can't kick you out of the deal. I mean, when you own the cow, when you own the deal, when you have your name on that contract, a broker doesn't want to kick you out. He wants to see you close, or he doesn't make any money. So I don't understand why you think a broker would kick you out of the deal. That just doesn't happen. So let me know your thoughts on that. But that's how it all. That's what we're all about, folks. I'd love to have you in. Reach out to my staff here. You can talk to them about getting on board. I thank you so much. I hope you get a better understanding now of how you can do this business. It really took a team to do all of the deals I've ever done. And once you get that first deal done, you have all the resources you need to go out there and do it on your own. I have so many of my past students out there teaching other students. Some of them have their own program, which I think is just absolutely fantastic. But definitely check it out. I'd love to have you on board. I'd love to have you talking to my team. And I want to thank you all for tonight. And I will look forward to seeing you. All right. Thanks, everybody. Good to see you all. And we'll all talk soon.